I've been a pediatrician for over a decade. I've seen a lot. Sick kids, abandoned babies, abuse cases. But this night, I'll never forget it. It started out like any other shift. I was working the night shift at the hospital. Everything was quiet. The kids were asleep. The nurses were doing their usual paperwork. I was in my office writing up reports. And then I heard a scream. At first, I thought maybe I was imagining it, but then I heard it again. It wasn't just crying, it was something deeper. It was a scream from the soul, desperate, wounded, pleading. One of the nurses, Azar, rushed in. Did you hear that too? She asked, eyes wide. I nodded, grabbed my phone flashlight, and we stepped out into the hallway. All the rooms were quiet, but the sound was coming from outside, from the trees behind the hospital. It was dark, still, except for the wind. And then the dogs, they were howling. One of them growled in a way I've never heard before. It sent chills down my spine. We ran toward the back, didn't even think, just ran. We passed the security hut. Johnny, our night guard, should have been there. But the door was open. The lights were on. His mug was on the table. But no Johnny. Then we heard something. A rustle. A faint cry. We turned the flashlight toward the trees. And there he was. Johnny. Lying on the ground. Bleeding. His leg torn open. And in his arms, a baby. Tiny. Newborn. Maybe 2 weeks old. Johnny looked at me and said, "He's alive. Help him." "He's alive." I took the baby from his arms. He was soaked in blood. His little leg was ripped open. You could see the veins. His ear was torn. His face had cuts all over. But he was breathing. I held him close and ran, screaming through the halls, "He's alive! Help! Someone help!" Doctors came. We rushed him into surgery. And as they worked to save him, I stood outside and cried. I'm a doctor. But that night, I was just a human being. Because all I could think was, why? Why would anyone do this to a baby? Where are his parents? A few hours later, the police brought in a woman. She looked empty. No expression. No tears. Then she fainted. When she woke up, they told me she was the mother. And I lost it. I confronted her. I shouted, "Why? How could you do this to your child? This baby came from you." She looked at me and she started crying. Really crying. And then she told us everything. Turns out her husband was a monster. He beat her, controlled her, watched her every move. He didn't want the baby. She told him, "If you leave, you'll still have to pay child support." And he said, "I'm not paying for anything. If there's no baby, there's no problem." He hit her, threatened her, told her if she ever spoke up, he'd kill her. And then he took the baby and tossed him to the dogs. She tried to stop him, but she was scared, broken, alone. That scream I heard was the sound of a baby left to die, and somehow, against all odds, he survived. That baby is alive today. He made it through surgery, and I hope he grows up never remembering what happened. But me, I remember. I remember the scream, the blood, Johnny risking his life, the mother's tears, the way she said, "I didn't want this. I didn't mean for this to happen." And I believe her. She was a victim too. People are so quick to blame the mother. They never ask, was she safe? Was she free? Was anyone hurting her too? Sometimes the person we blame is the one who was suffering in silence. And sometimes, one cry in the night is the only thing that can save a life. Soft pause. If you're listening to this and you're going through something, Please don't stay silent. You matter. You are not the problem. You deserve to be safe. That baby cried for help, and someone heard him. Maybe your cry will be heard too. Music fades in slowly based on a true story. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, speak up. Help is out there. You are not alone.